Well, hey guys, in today's video, I wanted to chat with you about why it is I get so frustrated with all of the marketing around natural deodorants, the claims they make, and all the goofy stuff they say. The number one thing that infuriates me about natural deodorant marketing is that it continues to perpetuate this lie that aluminum is dangerous and has adverse outcomes on human health. That has been vetted extensively through meta-analyses in the medical literature, and there is no evidence of any harm to human health from using aluminum and topical antiperspirants. As a dermatologist, I prescribe aluminum for the treatment of hyperhidrosis all the time, topical aluminum salts. It's a very effective ingredient for reducing sweat. It's an antiperspirant. There is no evidence that it causes Alzheimer's disease or breast cancer. I will insert references down below in the description box. It's one of the most effective ingredients for hyperhidrosis, aka excessive sweating. The downside of aluminum salts in antiperspirants is that they can be irritating. But if you are coping with irritation from aluminum, don't jump into the natural deodorant bandwagon right away. I suggest reevaluating how you're using it because most people use aluminum antiperspirants incorrectly. Antiperspirants that contain aluminum in them, the way they work is the little aluminum salts trickle down into your sweat gland and plug it up. So they, in effect, reduce the amount of perspiration, the amount of sweat that comes out of your armpit. And the best way to take advantage of that is to actually apply your antiperspirant, your aluminum salt containing antiperspirant at nighttime. At nighttime is the best because that's actually when your sweat production is lower. If you apply it and then go about your day and sweat a lot, you just sweat it off. But by putting it on at nighttime, this allows the aluminum salt to trickle down in that little sweat gland and plug it up. Then when you wake up the next morning, you can actually just wipe off your armpits and remove any of that residual antiperspirant on your skin that might be irritating. You don't need to leave it on indefinitely. The other cool thing about wiping it off in the morning is that it's not going to end up on your clothing. How frustrating are deodorant stains on clothing? They're really tough to get out. Speaking of clothing, I'm going to chit chat with you guys about this tank top that I'm wearing from Thrive Society. They sent it to me for free in exchange for chatting with you about it. No, this is not sponsored, but I got this through Octoly. I thought it'd be appropriate to chat about it here because in order to help you on your journey to smelling better, include your workout gear. Wearing synthetic fabrics that are moisture wicking and loose fitting will help wick away sweat off the surface of your skin when you're working out. And this tank is a perfect example of that. It's nice and lightweight. Mesh detailing allow for air to circulate over your skin. It's really comfortable. I will link this down below in the description box. No, that's not an affiliate link, but if you guys are interested, it's a great workout tank. So that's a way to use antiperspirant with aluminum salts so that it will be less irritating. My second issue with natural deodorants is simply the term natural. I think it's incredibly misleading to consumers. I think it's somehow safe. We have got to break up with this false belief that natural is safer or more effective. First of all, natural is not even a term that's regulated in any way in marketing, so they're free to throw that around, and it really has no standardized meaning whatsoever. As a matter of fact, aluminum is incredibly natural. It is a naturally occurring element. So yeah, natural and natural skincare, it's vague and it tends to underscore some sort of bogus messaging. My third issue with many natural deodorants is that they utilize baking soda or sodium bicarbonate as their active ingredient. Baking soda and or sodium bicarbonate, these are alkaline ingredients. Why is that bad? Well, in order to understand why that's bad, you have to understand pH. pH is basically a scale that scientists use to determine how acidic something is. It goes from 0 to 14. Anything less than a pH of 7 is acidic. Anything with a pH greater than 7 is basic or alkaline, and 7 is considered neutral. Your skin naturally has an acidic pH of around 5.7, but the skin in your armpits actually has a slightly higher pH, and that's actually what contributes to body odor. Because the skin pH there is higher, it has a different constitution of bacteria that live in the armpit, specifically a type of bacteria called Corynebacterium. And this matters because that bacteria breaks down compounds in your sweat, and that is what leads to odor. So a logical strategy for reducing body odor is to employ an ingredient that makes the skin barrier in the armpit more acidic to reduce the burden of that bacteria and its activity of breaking down your sweat. So where is the logic in putting base in your armpit? Sodium bicarbonate and baking soda are alkaline, they're basic. What is that gonna do? It's going to raise the pH of the skin of your armpit and make that bacteria even more happy and more comfortable. The other thing that it does is that it impairs your skin barrier. Your skin barrier needs to be acidic in order to function properly. There are key enzymes in your skin that regulate how different lipids are put up onto the surface, and all of that is pH dependent. Putting baking soda or sodium bicarbonate on the skin is incredibly caustic and irritating. It chews away at your skin barrier and it makes you more likely to develop an irritant contact dermatitis. Your armpit is a more humid environment. You have a semi-occlusive environment where you've got skin on skin contact. And so already your skin barrier has a lot more challenges just locally. Not to mention you've got that Corynebacterium chewing up your sweat. Sweat by itself is an irritant. I mean, putting base there is probably the worst thing you can do. It's like kicking somebody when they're down to put bicarbonate in your armpit. I mean, don't do it. And specifically, I'm talking about high percentage strengths of bicarbonate or baking soda where it's the active ingredient. Sometimes you'll see in skincare products bicarbonate low down on the ingredient list. It's added to adjust pH, so that's fine. Here I'm just talking about baking soda as an active ingredient or bicarbonate as an active ingredient where it's a high percent of the product. As it raises the pH of your skin, that leads to more irritation. Because it makes you more likely to have irritation, that also makes shaving and or the use of chemical depilatories in the armpit miserable. Because when you shave or you use one of those chemical depilatories like Nair, it also will impair your skin barrier a little bit. That's why people get ingrown hairs, they get irritation. It's gonna make you very prone to irritation with shaving or any kind of hair removal, period. And these can be a really painful, uncomfortable rashes. So the baking soda thing is another reason why I detest natural deodorants. And then the last reason why I loathe most natural deodorants is that they contain essential oils. The essential oils are added because in lab studies, a lot of essential oils show promise as being antibacterial. And I guess the logic there is that essential oils like tea tree oil or lavender oil might reduce the amount of bacteria. But in reality, essential oils are very irritating to the skin. Even if you don't have sensitive skin, they're very irritating, in particular in the moist environment of your armpit. Bad news bears. And the problem with essential oils is that they are not a pure substance. They contain multiple different compounds that can oxidize and degrade. And as that happens, which it does, they become more irritating. They admix with your sweat, and that actually can make you smell worse because those odor compounds that are being released from that little Corynebacterium from your sweat are now mixing with these oxidized, essentially perfume compounds and creating a foul odor and an irritating mix. And then the thing that makes me just want to throw up my hands and lick stamps for a living is the statement, oh, it's okay, your armpits are detoxing. Detox propaganda is a woo nonsense that has got to stop. Armpit detoxification, I'm here to tell you, is not a real thing. The purpose of sweat is to cool the body so that you don't overheat when you're exercising and whatnot. It's not to detox you. I mean, this is not a thing. If you take away anything from this video, it's these 4 points. Natural means nothing. Do not put baking soda on your skin. Do not put essential oils on your skin. And lastly, if somebody tells you their armpits are detoxing, just walk away. Just walk away. I mean, it means if you are somebody who finds that aluminum containing antiperspirants are really irritating, because trust me, that certainly does happen. and you want to take a break from them, you want to walk away from them, like they're just not serving you, what is a more logical approach to addressing body odor? First of all, I suggest a benzoyl peroxide containing wash. I love Panoxyl, as you guys know. And the way to use this is to lather it to your armpits in the shower, let it sit on the skin for a few minutes, and then rinse it off. The active ingredient in this, benzoyl peroxide, is antibacterial and will help reduce the burden of that corynebacterium in the armpit that break down your sweat and make you stink. And then I also recommend to you guys the Vanicream aluminum-free deodorant. This can be helpful in if you're going throughout your day and you start sweating, rub this under your armpit. It will help to, it's just a nice like moisturizing gel. It will help to hydrate the skin of the armpit and also remove that sweat. Sweat left on the skin is actually very irritating by itself, and then it's irritating and then the bacteria start snacking on it and make you stink. But if you don't want to bail on aluminum just yet, and you want to take my suggestion about putting it on at nighttime and then washing it off in the morning with just a washcloth, I would suggest to you Vanicream's Antiperspirant. I've mentioned this in several videos. It's one of my favorite antiperspirants. It does have aluminum but no fragrance. It's very sensitive skin friendly. This one or Almay makes a fragrance-free antiperspirant that I will list down below for you guys. So that's my tip for deodorant if you want to avoid aluminum because it's irritating or, you know, for whatever reason. I would suggest going with this alternative method as opposed to chasing after the natural deodorant marketing. Now that you're armed with this information, the next time one of your friends is like, you know, I really want to try a natural deodorant, but everyone I've tried, just cut them off. So I hope this video was useful to you all in addressing why natural deodorant marketing is BS. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.